Kimball International has announced another pending change. We'll have more on that. Plus, Dubois Strong's new president is optimistic about the county's future, and Ashley Niehaus discusses 4-H enrollment tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Another change is on the way for Jasper-based Kimball International. The company has announced its plans to consolidate its metal fabrication production from its operation in Post Falls, Idaho, into existing facilities here in Indiana. The company cites needing to improve customer delivery, supply chain dynamics, and the costs of transportation as reasons for this consolidation. Company officials also note that 80% of the company's installed customer base is located east of Denver, Colorado. Kimball officials say the transfer of work will involve starting up metal fabrication capabilities to a company-owned facility. It will also involve transferring certain assembly operations into 2 other company-owned facilities. All 3 facilities involved are here in southern Indiana. Now, the realignment will be stretched out across 7 or 8 quarters rather than being done all at once in order to avoid customer disruptions. Consolidation work will begin immediately, and the Post Falls, Idaho facility is for sale. Kimball International CEO and Board Chairman Bob Schneider says this announcement is a reflection of both the company's focus on markets and its positioning for long-term growth. Schneider says the length of the transition will allow time for the employees of the Post Falls facility to find other employment. Schneider says Kimball will be helping those employees with the transition. Now, the realignment will also have a positive impact for southern Indiana. Kimball says there could be about 160 new jobs by the year 2016. The jobs would be in Jasper and in Salem. A Jasper woman was taken into custody after police say she was threatening other employees at a business. Just after 10 o'clock yesterday morning, Jasper police were called to Ditto Sales on a report of an employee making threats. After they arrived and investigated further, police say 44-year-old Tina Horn threatened violence to several other employees. Horn was detained and taken to the Dubois County Security Center. She is being charged with intimidation. Dubois County is now looking to build for the future. During a press conference held at the Center for Technology, Innovation, and Manufacturing at VUJC yesterday afternoon, new Dubois Strong President Ed Cole spoke more about his vision to move the county forward. Cole, who's been on the job for 2 weeks now, says there were several things about Dubois County that got him interested in working for Dubois Strong.
Dubois County, to me, has always been a star among the 92. It is absolutely one that stands out. You know, when you talk to people from other counties, and my father always had tremendous respect for this area, the manufacturing skills, the I guess heritage of homegrown businesses that went from mom and pop to national recognition. I mean, that's really pretty hard to recreate.
Cole says every conversation he's had with business and community leaders so far has been very positive. He says many of those leaders are actively looking for ways to help fill the available jobs in the county by attracting people to come live here. Cole says the housing study that Dubois Strong has been working on is going well. However, he says though the housing study is a good starting point, it's not the only issue to look into.
We also believe that the human resources group that meets in Dubois County could be a resource to help us determine what other things might be important to bridge the gap between getting folks to move here and stay here and work here. We don't know what those are, and we feel like those are the HR professionals and they should be able to help us with that.
Cole says other issues that Dubois Strong will work to address are high-speed internet and transportation. Before coming to Dubois Strong, Cole worked as a regional development specialist for the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. In that role, he focused on business retention and expansion, workforce development, and regional collaboration. Cole is a native of Perrysville, Indiana. He served as executive director for the Vermilion County Economic Development Council in western Indiana prior to his move to Oklahoma. During his time in Vermilion County, Cole worked to facilitate the sale of a 50,000 square foot speculative building. He also developed an industrial park for the county and coordinated a two-state partnership for it, along with successfully implementing tax increment financing districts in the county to maintain its industrial infrastructure. The Indiana Department of Education has finally released school performance grades for the 2013-2014 school year, and most local schools once again fared well. In the Greater Jasper School Corporation, Jasper High School, Jasper Middle School, and Ireland Elementary all earned A's for the second straight year. Meanwhile, both 5th Street and 10th Street Elementaries raised their grades from C's last year to A's this year. The Southwest Dubois School Corporation also fared well again. Holland Elementary, Huntingburg Elementary, and Southridge Middle School were all A schools, while Southridge High School once again got a B. Meanwhile, the Southeast Dubois School Corporation had another good year as well. Ferdinand Elementary, Pine Ridge Elementary, Cedar Crest Intermediate, and Forest Park Junior-Senior High School all were A schools in 2014. Forest Park had been a B school last year. The other schools are in their second straight year of being A schools. Finally, the Northeast Dubois School Corporation also has a lot to be proud of. Dubois and Celestine Elementaries, Dubois Middle School, and Northeast Dubois High School were all A schools this year. Dubois Middle School raised its grade up from a B a year ago. Looking to other school districts in our area, the North Spencer School Corporation has a lot to be proud of too. Chrisney, Lincoln Trail, and Nancy Hanks Elementaries, the David Turnham Education Center, Heritage Hills Middle School, and Heritage Hills High School, all maintained A grades for the second straight year. Finally, the results were a mixed bag for the Pike County School Corporation. Otwell Elementary and Pike Central High School both earned B grades. Meanwhile, Winslow and Petersburg Elementaries were given C grades, and Pike Central Middle School's grade dropped from a C last year to a D this year. Otwell Elementary, Petersburg Elementary, and Pike Central High School all were A grade schools just a year ago. Now, these grades were part of more than 2,000 released yesterday afternoon by the State Board of Education. The grades were originally scheduled to be released back on October 15th, but they were delayed after a heated debate arose over international baccalaureate scores for some of the schools. Now, statewide, about 1,100 schools in all were given A grades this year. That's up from about 940 last year. The number of schools earning D or F grades was down significantly from recent years. The grades are the primary factor used in determining both teacher pay and school funding. Indiana University economists are projecting the number of people working in the state will reach its pre-recession peak again next year. The panel from the Kelley School of Business released its annual economic forecast earlier today, saying Indiana is expected to see economic growth slightly less than the country as a whole over the next few years. The forecast is projecting Indiana will see 55,000 additional jobs in 2015, and the state's unemployment rate should fall from its current mark of 5.7% down to 5.25% by the end of next year. IU researcher Timothy Slaper says the state will likely be a half step behind the projected national economic growth rate through 2017. Finally this evening, local deer hunters should expect another productive season this year. However, there could be fewer deer than in previous years, according to one state expert. Chad Stewart is a deer management biologist with the Indiana Department of Natural Resources. He says several factors have contributed to the reduced number of deer in certain parts of the state. He says some of those are by design, while others are external forces. This year marks the third year for the DNR's management effort aimed at reducing deer numbers in targeted areas. Another factor in the reduced deer numbers was a serious outbreak of hemorrhagic disease back in 2012. The DNR says in addition to basic bag limits this year, hunters will be able to purchase bonus licenses to take additional antlerless deer based on the assigned quota for a particular county. Bonus licenses can be used in all seasons with the exception of urban deer zone season, though hunters will have to use the hunting equipment that is legal for whichever season they're hunting in. Now, as far as here in southwestern Indiana, Stewart says hunters should still see a good number of deer. He says the balance between available cover and no lingering effects from disease outbreaks should provide plenty of chances for hunters to be successful. Firearms season begins on November 15th. It will run through November 30th. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform with Ashley Niehaus. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.